So, thank you, Chris, for doing testimonial. I'm curious what difference you feel like the Manager as Leaders program has provided you, what difference it's made for you.
I think it's made me a better listener as far as a leader goes. I guess the bottom line is I feel as though I have much more tools available to me and recognize those tools, whether they're inside of me or I'm applying them as far as a leader versus being a manager of people and business.
Okay, perfect. Are there any particular tools that you're taking away? You mentioned listening, which is awesome. Are there any other particular tools that you're taking away that you feel really good about, not really good about, that you feel like are instrumental in your kind of where you are today versus where you were when you walked in the door?
I think I have a much better degree of awareness with empathy and judgment. Not that that was necessarily a tool. I was definitely more predisposed and before to make judgment and make assumptions versus having empathy and walking in the other person's shoes.
Nice. And what do you see as a leader is important about having more empathy?
I feel it provides an avenue of building trust with your community, including the people that work for you and the people you work with.
Nice. One of the things about being a leader with this group, everyone in this room not only reports up, but they have people that report to them, but they also report up to people, and then they have peer managing relationships. And I'm curious if you see anything in particular about how this course has served you in managing up or out, or leading up and out.
I think, to me, there was always a stereotype of, and again, only speaking for myself, there was always some trepidation whenever there was a conversation that needed to be had with people above me. It seems to be a common theme in people's lives as they grow up, including, of course, my own. However, I do feel that I can approach those conversations from a point of view with less fear. And I don't know if you associate that with having more personal power, but I believe being vulnerable and transparent and not making assumptions again and before going into those conversations has definitely been eliminated in my thought process when I go in. I'm not saying I look forward to a conversation, but at the same time I do look forward to a conversation.
Nice, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What's different today? What's one specific way that you experience your life is different, or that you're different today than it was 6 months ago when we started?
I believe for someone who actually feels they have a high level of patience, I believe I've actually increased my patience. And it's affected my well-being for myself. I've committed myself to my well-being stances and I'm experiencing the results. I think what the well-being does for me is definitely provides me an easier opportunity to be my true self versus my trained self. And that was the biggest thing that really stands out to me.
Great, thank you. What would you tell someone who was thinking about whether or not to accept an opportunity to participate? Like someone who's kind of on the fence, what would you say to them?
I want to speak very honestly, because in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
I was very reluctant and against this, and I would even tell others that would probably have the opportunity, oh, don't do it, don't do it. And I would say in the last 3 months, my position has done a complete 180. I can't talk enough about it to the people who in the beginning I feel like I ruined in my first initial assumption and what I stated to them. I think any opportunity you can have to make yourself a better person and who you view as who you look upon yourself when you look in that mirror. I think feeling good about yourself and trusting and having faith and liking yourself reverberates out, and God, I'm rambling.
No, you're doing great.
Changes who you are in the world for yourself and for others, and in turn changes who they are.
And what's the impact of that?
You could say world peace in a way.
I love it. And then one more thing I'd love to have you say to the camera. In the room earlier, you said, when as part of your acknowledgement of you said, I really have always loved my job, but now you even love it more, or something to that effect. So I wonder if you'd be willing to speak to that again.
I guess because sometimes I feel now when I'm at work, the community that has been created with the fellow participants that have been in the class that I work with on a daily basis, I almost feel like we're at another level of and I don't know if it's communication or what it may be, but I feel that we're very lucky. I feel very lucky, and I feel lucky to be able to look at my career actually from a different point of view than maybe I did before, and in turn I think that has affected on how I approach it and how I feel about it and what I get back from it.
Anything else you want to say?
Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.